Football at 4 is powered by the Inside the Birds podcast, which you can get on all podcasting platforms, and is brought to you by the Fanatics Sportsbook at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City. Go to the gallery, go to Ocean, go for the win. For more, visit oceanac.com. Adam Caplan is in the hot seat today for today's Football at 4, which, of course, a little trade yesterday for the Eagles right before Football at 4. We touched on it with Jeff Mosher, but now that the dust has settled, let's see what the Eagles' secondary looks like now with a new piece in the secondary. Adam Caplan is here to explain on Football at 4 today. Adam, welcome.
Mikey, let's do that because there's some information that's not correct. And on our YouTube message board, right, our community board, it's kind of funny. People are throwing a lot of stuff out there. So we're gonna help people learn this thing, really what it looks like, the way the coaches and front offices look at it, and where guys fit in and so forth. So Michael Carter he's not a corner. He's a safety, believe it or not, and a nickel. So Michael Carter was a safety at Duke. Talking to the Jets about him over the years, they thought he had versatility to play inside. First 3 years of his career with the Jets, terrific. Probably a top 5 nickel. Got the big contract extension. And then they had the coaching change, and in season, Robert Saleh got canned. And then Michael Carter started losing his job. Isaiah Oliver, as a veteran corner, started cutting into his role. And then this year, the new staff was down on Carter, and they moved Jarvis Brownlee over him, who was acquired via trade from the Titans a month ago. So he was on his way out. They didn't want him. They made it clear to anyone they're trying to move him. They got next to nothing for them. But you know what? He's a young guy, talented, real smart. He's got to learn the scheme yet. I think we're running a little bit too fast with DeJean moving to corner. Yes, in their base defense and early downs, that's where DeJean lines up. I'm not saying that DeJean might not transfer over to corner more than nickel. That might happen, but let's just cool our jets first. Let's just let Carter learn the scheme. Our understanding is he's not playing corner. He's playing nickel, and they're probably going to cross-train at safety. We'll see what happens in practice this week, but that's our understanding. I think what happens, Mike.
Well, as you know, Adam, a lot of people associate nickel as a corner.
Right, but it's not.
Right.
It's
not according
really
to
not.
Vic. Not according to Nick.
No,
Vic Fangio.
It's really. I call it like, okay. So Vic and I don't agree with one thing. He calls OLBs edges. Well, OLBs, it depends what scheme you're in. Now, for Vic's scheme, OLBs are edges. Okay, that's what they are.
Right.
In the Steelers scheme, they're like T.J. Watt is an edge rusher, but they call him an LB. They do call him a linebacker. I wouldn't call him a linebacker. But the bottom line is Vic calls nickels because they're not. Although, look, you've watched Cooper DeJean. He's no ordinary nickel. You'll see him cover a tight end. He will cover receivers, and that's why they play him in base on the outside. Yes, he's an add-in defender against the run, but it's not like if they drop back, he won't drop out to cover somebody. So the nickels right now, Mike, let's move on here, are DeJean and Michael Carter. Mac McWilliams, unfortunately, Mike, barring something unforeseen, is not going to contribute. I'm a little surprised by it, what we've seen so far. The fact that they traded Michael Carter gave you the answers to the test. Nobody has to guess what's happened here. Mac McWilliams is not factoring in. He counts against the roster at 53, but he's not playing. So, off-season, get him into an off-season, full off-season, see what happens. He's a talented kid. The Eagles like him, but he's not factoring. So right now the nickels are DeJean and Carter. No, Makuba does not count as a nickel. He's not a nickel now. He can do it down the line. Who knows, Mike, in future years, but right now he's just a safety. Now, those are the nickels. Let's go to cornerback. This is where people are confused. Mitchell, DeJean. Jackson's got the concussion. We'll see if he gets clear for next week. And Ringo. Those are your four who are on the 53. Bennett is not on the 53. He practiced last week, but they've not activated him yet. He's going to be activated at some point before the 21-day window expires, barring a setback, of course, with his pectoral strain. So, look, they'll have 5 corners. But here's the question, Mike. If you want to win a Super Bowl, this is what I ask people. And I know people on our message boards are completely mixed on this one. We got the Ringo Truthers, or although there are not a lot left, there used to be about 500. We're down about 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah.
They still believe, the ones who are holding on, they still believe that the guy could be a starting quality corner. Nobody around the league believes that, but the Truthers believe it. So those people don't care about the Eagles adding another corner. They don't think they need to. The people really understand what Ringo is and isn't. Understand he's got certain limitations. He's got 3 of them. Lower body stiffness, connected that with his transitioning, and he has real trouble stopping and starting. He's a 4th corner. Really, if you have your druthers, you could play him as your 3rd. Rather than have your 4th, he's starting right now because they have nobody better. They're not good enough at corner opposite Mitchell. That's a fact. That is why DeJean may wind up playing a lot more corner than Vic would like him to. You got to do what's best for your football team, whether Vic wants to do it or not. It's his call, by the way. And eventually, if you want to be a Super Bowl team, you got to get a right corner who could stand up. And look, let's move this forward. We'll talk more about this next week when we get ready for Green Bay, which will be a great test on Monday night. What if Ringo's starting? Right? Did you see what Jordan Love did last week to the Steelers? Did you see that?
Yep.
He tore them apart. Do you not think they have by the way, when they're healthy, they have
Slay.
the deepest receiver core. They have the deepest receiver core. Yeah. Slay, by the way, is near the end of his great career, by the way. He's not a Hall of Famer, but he was a great Eagle, and it's one of the better trades Howie Roseman's ever made. But look, they cut him for a reason. He's near the end at 33 years old. They're struggling on their back end. Love tore him apart in the 4th quarter. He was incredible. So it's a problem. I'm just telling you that the right cornerback problem is a problem if you want to win a Super Bowl. So those are your corners. And your safeties are Makuba, Blankenship. Sidney Brown is, he's averaging 7 snaps on defense a game. That kind of tells you what the coaches think of him. And Marcus Epps is back.
Yeah, there you are. You dropped for a half a second there. You said Marcus Epps is back is where we lost you.
Right. Marcus Epps is back as their 4th safety. And they only play Sidney Brown 7 snaps a game on defense. So they have enough players there. I'm very interested to see what their thinking is with Carter here, how he factors in at safety. Do they need another one? No, but my sense is Vic has never been a big Sidney Brown fan. Just based on his usage, it's clear that he's not. And we're going to see what they do with Michael Carter this week. So that's that. I'm very disappointed with Mac McWilliams' usage. It's clear it's a practice issue. He's not good enough. I get that.
Yeah.
But, boy, I know they like him. I just don't know what's happened with him. I wasn't expecting him to play a lot.
No, I agree with you. I liked him, too, and I thought he'd be a surprise, but they just haven't even activated him there. But so it sounds like a lot of people initially saw Carter, figured, well, he plays a lot of nickel slot corner, and that DeJean could bounce to the outside, but that's not necessarily how this will play out.
It could be, but Mike, I mean, realistically, if they want to win a Super Bowl, and they don't, by the way, the trade deadline is Tuesday, we're not ruling out a corner. Edge is definitely they're definitely in the market. Other teams have told us that they're looking at edge. But if they don't make a trade for a true corner, what choice does Vic have right now? If you want to win, Mike, what would you do?
I love DeJean at nickel corner. I hate moving him out of that spot because of the way he is up against the run.
Okay.
And listen, I can't really judge him as an outside corner because I really haven't seen him do it enough. Like, we all just assume that he's going to run and cover some of these elite receivers. Maybe he can. I don't know that. I don't have that answer.
That's fair, but Mike, what's your recourse here? If they don't make a trade, are you comfortable with Keeler Ringo being your starting corner for the Super Bowl?
Absolutely not. Ringo to me.
Well, then you just answered it for me. What else are you going to do?
No, Ringo to me
is. People don't understand. They don't understand. Like, Dory Jackson, come on, he can't. He's near the end of his career. Like, what are we talking about here? That's my point, Mike. I hear you. DeJean is dynamic as a nickel.
Yeah.
But they drafted him to play corner. I get it changed. Things changed. It's okay. They changed their mind based on need, and he wasn't ready to play corner initially because he came in with an injury. But you got to do what's best for your football team. That's why. But this discussion, the reason why I wanted to have it with you is that's why it's not set in stone. We're just assuming that DeJean will transfer over to corner full time. I'm not saying he won't play more there, but on your point, he's so good in nickel. Let's just see what happens. The problem is, Mike, they don't have a lot of choices. None of them are very good, other than DeJean at corner. Yeah. And then you make a fair point. He hasn't really played it in passing situations. He's played it mostly in base downs. So it's not easy, Mike. But I wanted to walk through it because I think people are sort of conflating things. And one guy's like, oh, they've started backups before there and won, or other positions have won, so that's okay. No, it's not okay. That's not the way teams think. It's comical when people think that way, but they're entitled to their opinion.
So they do go make a trade. Have you heard the rumor today, which was
what's the latest one?
3 first-round picks for Myles Garrett.
That
was Charles Robinson. It wasn't some
I thought Charles was a friend of mine. Did he put that out?
He was on Nashville radio today, And I don't know that he was reporting it, but he was saying that, maybe I don't. Josh, do you have that audio? Do you have that queued up? If you do, just let me know in my ear. But
yeah, I'd love to hear that. I don't. Charles is a pretty responsible guy, so maybe he was just speculating what it would take, though.
So Josh has the audio. Here it is.
Okay, go ahead.
Rumor going around, and I have not heard it out of the Eagles, but I've heard it from a couple of other, like high-ranking people in other teams that are clearly on the phones. That Howie Roseman and the Eagles are super hot after Myles Garrett, and how he'd give up like 3 first-round picks for him.
There you go.
Oh, all right. So he's hearing it from other teams. Look, Mike, they were in on Micah Parsons. We know about that. Jeff and I have been saying on so many of our shows for 2 months, they've not given up the hope to make a trade. It could be Bradley Chubb. It could be someone else available from another team. Bradley Chubb's available. He's, by the way, play for Vic in 2 spots. Who knows? It could be Jalen Phillips or Chop Robinson. So it could be anybody. It could be a number of guys. They have enough players at edge once BG comes back. But I say that, do we know what BG looks like yet? He's 37 years old. Nolan
Vic
Smith
says he looks okay. He looks okay. That's what Vic said, right?
Yeah, I mean, we don't know yet. But even BG said this. No expectations because he doesn't know. It's about having high-end quality players, and if you could get that. Now, people say, they won with average guys this year. Josh Sweat's not an average player. Like, well, first of all, he's not a great pass rusher. He's better than average. Just a good football player. BG, before he got hurt last year, the best game he got that he had in the last 5 years was against the Rams when he got hurt. And Milt Williams was we have to remember how many players the Eagles have lost on defense. It's hard to make that up.
Agree. But, that would be interesting. 3 first-round picks for Myles Garrett, who had 5 sacks the other day in a game, and that would probably look good in the Philadelphia
And they still lost. Right.
Yeah.
That's
the point, though, is they still
–
listen, I said before, he agreed to sign that deal for $40 million when he wanted to get out of there because he said he wanted to win. And then he signed that deal. So you know what? You reap what you sow, buddy.
They're terrible. They don't have a quarterback. They've had a number of injuries on defense. But, Mike, here's the thing. Obviously, a trade like that, the Eagles' roster overall is pretty. It's young, which you like. And Myles Garrett's probably got 3 really good years left in him. I know for a fact they've always had a fascination with him. They really have. They've practiced against him a number of times, played against him. He's the best best edge rusher overall in the NFL, based on everything that he does. Plays inside and nickel if you want him to, but. I mean, look, the Browns have made it clear they're not trading him. Andrew Berry made that clear when he thwarted off every team that called. They're not trading him. I still believe that's the case. But, man, until they get a quarterback, the Browns, they're going to be awful. That's just the way it is.
All right, lastly, the trade deadline's Tuesday. What other positions or position do they need to address?
It's funny. I don't know what to make of Brett Toth, Mike. You and I have not talked about this yet. He was unbelievable in this last game. Mike, it's one of the most amazing. Now, it's only one game, let's make it clear. But I've not seen a guy who was so poor before. He never showed any progress on the field, like in games. I'm talking about practice. And then looks like an elite player for one game. Now, are the Eagles really going to buy in for one game that this guy now is dependable to be Juergen's backup at center and be the top backup right guard? I don't agree with it, but they just knowing the way they think. And Stout, this is Stout's guy. Stout kind of found him. He certainly had a hand in it, from what I understand. So I have a sneaking suspicion they think that they're good with Toth. It was, Mike. It was just amazing. The athleticism for folks who get to watch the All-22. I watched it on Tuesday. My mouth dropped. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, who is this guy?
Right.
Like he went through a transformation in one game. It's real, by the way. What he did wasn't luck. It was amazing. So, again, corner and edge especially. The Eagles may think they could get away with what they have a corner. I don't believe it, and I don't agree with it. And other teams don't, but we'll see what happens. And then, other than that, Mike, no. Honestly, there's nothing that they would need. D-tackle, they're okay with. They're Ty Robinson's starting to play a little bit. Byron Young has been a nice find for them. They claimed him off waivers last year from the Raiders. They're okay there. But edge, they got to get. They really need somebody else, Mike. And Ojulari's hurt. And by the way, the other thing is, If they were playing Camel at true edge, he doesn't. When he lines up on the edge, he's not there. He's not rushing. He's there to play the run. Had he been used as an edge rusher, different discussion, Mike. We're not having that discussion because they're not using him as an edge rusher.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's Tuesday. We'll see if they do something else. You know, there's always something brewing in Howie Roseman's phone and in his head. We'll see what he ends up doing. Adam Caplan's back on Tuesday at the trade deadline right here on Football at 4. Thanks, Adam.
Thank you.